the phones and go to line 3. Suicide X, where you're on the wrestling guys.
Hey.
Hey.
I was wondering if you can find out where these guys are now. I wonder where happened ever the demolition.
Demolition. You want to take a camera? You want?
Well, let's see. Where is Bill Eadie?
Bill Eadie is still on the independent scene. He wrestles sometimes as Axis the Demolisher or something like that.
Right. He borrows from the Demolition name, but he can't use it.
Is he still selling his tag team belt?
I don't know. That's interesting, but I don't know.
4 or 5 years ago, he was trying to sell one of his WWF tag team titles, and he wanted like $12,000 for it. But he would like bring it to your house personally and deliver it to your doorstep.
Now, like when Ted DiBiase bought the belt from Andre, will Jack Tunney come and strip it from you after you pay $12,000?
Well, Jack Tunney's dead, so I don't think that's possible. I don't know. Of course, you've got Brian Adams. He's with Chronic. He's still active, and Barry Darso
is everywhere.
Yeah, he's kind of in the Ed Leslie school of gimmick changes.
Yeah, he was down. What was that other federation out of? It was airing on TV.
XWO or WXO.
WXO. He was down there for a while. So
yeah, he 2 weeks. He did a Priceline commercial. That was it. So, who else?
Oh yeah, and also wanted to know when is China posing for Playboy?
That photo shoot already happened. I'm not sure when the release date is.
You don't know? Oh yeah, here's my last one. Do you know if Triple H is ever going to get the gold back?
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will, yeah.
Okay, can you guys blow me up?
Jobber, you've been requested. Suicide X has a celebration for blowing up to us.
It's huge. Jobber's over. It's huge.
It's incredible. Jobber has his own little cult following as well. So 457-1065. Let's go to line 4. First-time caller, I believe. I think it's a first-timer, long-timer. He owns a little mom-and-pop store in Springboro in Piqua. What's his name, Marty?
First-time caller, long-time listener.
Where are you, man?
I'll tell you what, buddy. I am in the middle of the storm down here just a little bit past Westchester. And the weather, if you've been watching television, it's true. There is hail, damaging winds. There are cars off the road. It is one ugly event down here.
So bears the question, why in the hell are you driving in it?
And talking on the phone. All the drivers around there, pull over.
Well, as you well know, HWA has got some guys who have been working WCW events recently, and we have a meeting this evening to go over some of the shows that are coming up. I know that Chris just called in from Midi Storm and talked a little bit about this weekend show, but there's a lot going on in WCW. I'm sure you talked about it, Shawn, during the preliminary
you didn't listen?
Early on.
You didn't listen?
No, I couldn't
I'm getting a little upset.
I've been saying all kinds of nice things about Marty, too. I mean, wasted.
Cam, please. But, you know, the Middletown show is going to be a great show. And really the return, once again, of the fabulous Willie. I don't want to call him Willie F because he is not Willie F there.
Yeah, Brock Guffman.
Yeah, Brock Guffman returning to the Dayton area. A lot of people excited about that show, and there's a buzz going on in the A-Team. Possibly the best match in Blanchester last week. And I'll say in Blanchester because I know OCW ran a show in Yellow Springs that I heard was just a great show from a number of people also.
We know that show in Blanchester. I know that the match that the A-Team was involved in with Cody Hawk and Taxi, that match has been sent to Terry Taylor for review by World Championship Wrestling. They were very interested in those guys.
Wow.
Well, it's unbelievable. That was their third match, and they've got the look, and it was just a great match. Les Thatcher went back in the locker room and told everybody about two-thirds of the way through that match that they better be ready tonight because those guys set the pavement and lit it up for them. And the crowd was live after that match. It just, it was really good.
Well, again, Middletown this Saturday for the HWA. It should be a big time. And so are you going to, we have to go to a break, Marty. You want to stick around? Or?
Yeah, let's stick around. Have you gave them the big show coming up yet?
Yes, we did. We can talk about that when we get back. You're listening to the Wrestling Guys. Marty's on the line and Poltergeist. They're here or something like that. Yeah. There you go. All right, Classic Fest 2000.
It's going to be unbelievable. HWA, one of the only federations in the country, able to bring in two of the biggest WCW stars, Kevin Nash coming in Saturday, Diamond Dallas Page coming in Sunday for an appearance, and we're going to have it all because we're going to have the biggest VIP tent there, but it's limited, Shawn, to 50 people. And not much more we can do about that, just do the nature of it. They are expecting anywhere from 20 to 30,000 to be at the show, and I'm sure you've ran through the lineup, Loverboy, Joan Jett, Eddie Money, Rick Derringer, on and on and on over that 2 days. Fort Laramie, about 45 minutes from Dayton. You can camp out, but for that VIP price, you're going to get a chance to meet Kevin Nash personally. You're going to have munchies. You're going to get preferred parking. You're going to be able to get into the VIP area for the concert, and you're going to have first crack at everything, and it's going to be for the wrestling guys and 50 of their closest friends.
And just in case you're wondering, that Saturday is September the 2nd when we're going to be up there with the VIP tent and Kevin Nash. The lineup for that day, Rick Derringer, Loverboy, John K. and Steppenwolf, Eddie Money. You get to see all those guys, plus Kevin Nash, plus the HWA, and of course, us.
Hey, that's what they're all coming for, the wrestling guys. Cam, you can come along, too.
Hey, there you
Look
go.
at that. See, I was going to say 50 people make it like 48 because me and my wife, so 48 fan. But, hey, I was invited. I'm there.
There you go.
We could also call it the Cam Collins GED celebration.
Oh, jeez.
But now, there's one big step I have to take before you can call it that, Marty.
Yes, there is, but we're behind you.
Hey, if the water boy can pass that test, I think I could, too.
Yeah, you're in it. I know you're studying hard, and I know you're diligently trying to get over the hump.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Classic Fest 2000, the website, www.classicfest.com. If you want to give them a call, 937-295-3000. And if you want to get your VIP tickets for the Wrestling Guys Day on Saturday, there's someplace in Springboro, I'm not sure, some little hole in the wall.
Obviously, it's Classic Cards and Collectibles, and we've sold 10 tickets today, Shawn.
Great.
That was just word of mouth. I know you released it on the hotline. One other thing, and I don't think you've had a chance to talk about it, is HWA invading Grand Victoria Casino September 1st, the day before Classic Fest, and Les Thatcher's group and their main event show are going to run a bus trip out of Cincinnati with the same thing, a chance to go to Grand Victoria Casino, free pass, free buffet, perfect seats. This place is just fantastic for a wrestling show, and it appears that WCW will be sending in some other talent for the show, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Stasiak, Palumbo, O'Hare, some of that group come in, because I know that they're looking to come down to the HWA camp for some additional training.
You know, with a buffet and gambling, we're there.
Hey,
I mean, come on.
That's a can't miss.
You can gamble, I can buffet, and we'll all have a good time. I know that
I may have to gamble to afford your buffet.
I know a lot of other events going on. OCW making their debut in Fairborn on August 19th. Once again, it seems like we always have something going on, but that's the day of the yearly Adams Fest at our house, so we're not going to be able to make it. But I think they've got a great show planned for the 19th there in Fairborn.
But the biggest day of the year is August 20th, my fantasy football draft. You know that.
That's it. Oh, and don't
Absolutely.
forget August 20th is also the big chili cook-off.
Right, that's going to Beaver Creek, or I believe, or no, not Beaver, Brookville.
Brookville, and I've talked to Dr. Creep about that. Definitely, I'm going to sit in since you're going to set your priorities being fantasy football. The wrestling guys will be represented at the chili tasting contest.
Just break out the Beano drops when you go to the chili cook-off.
I never have a problem with that.
Just don't be behind Marty.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
But just a lot going on in Miami Valley once again, a hotbed for professional wrestling, and some great indie groups in the area, and we look forward to working with all of them in the near future.
Absolutely. Marty, be careful on the road tonight. We'll talk to you later.
And let me tell you, before I go, I'm closing in on 275, and anybody coming this way, I would advise them not to, Shawn. It's almost shut down, and visibility, I mean, it's really bad, buddy. So you guys have a good one.
All right, take it easy.
Take it easy, Marty.
Marty Adams out on the road braving the storm. And by the way, I know there's also there was a lot of thunderstorm warnings earlier today. I think those have all been expired or canceled, right, Jobber?
They've all run out.
Okay, they've all run out, but still some treacherous weather out there, so be careful if you are out and about. Let's get back to the phone lines. In line 5, it's Jim. Welcome to the Wrestling Guys. Hold on, Jobber's not paying attention. Jobber, can we get line 5? Thank you. Jim?
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering, I was at y'all's July 15th show, and I was wondering when y'all were going to do another one.
September 16th.
Are y'all going to have the same organizations there?
That we're not sure. I know it's an HWA show. I don't know if we're going to be involved bringing in anybody else. That's still being talked about, but we'll let you know as soon as we do.
Okay. And I got to where are they for you now?
Okay.
The juicer.
The Juicer, dead.
He died?
Yeah, he died. That was 1994. Was that when he died?
I think so.
Art Bar?
Art Bar.
Yeah, I
about
think
94.
it was 1994, died of a drug overdose.
Oh.
Yeah.
Me and my friend were just sitting here talking about it and wondering.
Yeah, he was big. His most success came actually in Mexico. He was tag team with Eddie Guerrero, and as the Love Machine Art Bar. And if you remember when WCW sponsored that Mexican pay-per-view, what 5-6 years ago, Canyon was on it and all those guys. They wrestled on that show. Eddie Guerrero and Art Bar did. But yeah, he's another guy who died way too soon.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, appreciate the phone call. Take care.
Bye.
Let's get to line 6. Cam just threw it on the floor. I don't know what that means, but Cam, you can go intro the call. Go. This is your GED paying off right now.
I buy Goribus?
Goribus, yeah.
And Medway?
Yep.
Cam, that's not your fault. It's Jobber's handwriting.
Not.
Line 6, Gorbis, welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Yes, my question is about Raven. How will the WWF use him, and what plans do they have for any titles?
I haven't heard anything about any titles. I think he's pretty much going to stay the same.
That's good.
But he can't come in until after SummerSlam.
All right. I'd also like to give a shout-out to my crew, if that's cool.
No, go for it.
I'd like to give a shout-out to the Loose Cannon Mike Walters, Big Rob Wells, my tag partner Balak, and, of course, the Black Crow.
All right, appreciate the phone call. Take care.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. You know, September is really shaping up to be a big month for the World Wrestling Federation. You got Raven coming in. You've got Billy Gunn coming back. Steven Regal. I guess the Dups now are talking to the World Wrestling Federation, and depending on how many of these guys WCW actually lets loose and the World Wrestling Federation would be interested in, you could have a lot of those guys jumping into the fray as well.
I'm interested to see how they use Billy Gunn when he comes back.
From what I understand, you're going to have I guess it's similar to what the NWO Red and Black was. You're going to have, or NWO Red and whatever Wolfpack. You're going to have a DX1 and a DX2, and basically you're going to have Billy Gunn and Hunter against X-Pac and Road Dogg. By the way, Road Dogg, from what we understand, it was injured somehow last night at the SmackDown tapings. Not really sure the extent of that, but of course we wish him well.
Absolutely.
Also, Dave Hebner is in the hospital, suffered a minor heart attack on Monday. Of course, he is the brother of Earl Hebner, and you see him once in a while refereeing in the World Wrestling Federation, but he is in stable condition, so hopefully he's okay there. This one's good. Should we do this one now, or should we go to a break first? This one may take some time. What do you want?
I'll tell you what. I think we can...
Can we squeeze this in?
Yeah, we got some time.
This is a good name. Line 7, the Cane Swinging Granny. You're on the Wrestling Guys.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Doing fine.
Good.
You're a cane swinging granny.
Yeah, you know who this is.
Who is this?
This is Donna, Todd's mom.
Oh, okay. And turn your radio down a little bit.
Yeah, I got it down.
Okay, thanks.
If you could pair up Logan Kane and Chris Hero, nobody could beat him.
You think so?
I know so.
I haven't seen Chris lately. I mean,
I know those guys used to put on some of the best singles matches against each other that I've ever seen. I mean, they're phenomenal matches.
Right.
I agree. I think a tag team would be very impressive.
Both those guys, you've got Logan, who's, been training with Les Thatcher. Hero's been going down to Florida and training with Dory Funk Jr. They're both experiencing success, but in different ways. It'll be interesting to see, because I think it's probably been... how long has it been since those two wrestled? Have they wrestled? Did they wrestle at VCW?
They wrestled at the Hera show that we did.
Okay.
Back in March.
Okay.
I believe it was in March. It was the last time I think they've met. But I think Hero said they've met 50 times in their career, and that's amazing that they can keep the matches fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, appreciate the phone call.
Take
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Cane Swinging Granny. I like that name.
Cane Swinging Granny, you saw at every house show in the 80s. No matter where you went, there was one in the crowd, front row, every time.
What was the lady back in the 50s, 60s? Hat Pin Harriet or something? I can't think of the name. But she used to actually sit in the front row with a hat pin and try and stick the bad guys when they would walk by. And I guess I should say heels. It's not good to say bad guys.
Bad guys.
I can't help it,
Mark.
But, I always get ridiculed for that because I always say bad guy instead of heel. So anyway, I'll tell you what. Let's take a break. When we get back, Riverside's on hold. The Black Crow. Cam Collins in for Marty Adams. I'm Shawn Stidham. This is the Wrestling Guys on
106.5 FM, Buckeye Country.
106.
Hey,
Chucker.
Woodchuck.
First, I was saying thanks for a plug beginning with break.
Oh, the Metallica? I think Jobber did that just for you.
Yeah, thanks, Ace. Well, I have a few things too.
Okay.
On Monday night, scene between the King and Taz. It's like ECW all over again.
Well, they had to do something to get Taz over as a heel, and certainly going after Jim Ross and making fun of his Bell's palsy was one way to do it.
Man, hasn't that man suffered enough? He's like got his butt kicked by every major star.
But you know what? It was effective in getting Triple H over as a heel. It will certainly, people love Jim Ross, much like the same way, and Cam alluded to this earlier. It was almost directly taken from when Don Morocco attacked Gordon Soley and Roddy Piper made the save. That cemented Don Morocco as a heel for a long, long time. Even when he tried to go face, there were people that,
And at that time, Roddy Piper was a huge heel.
Yes.
Everybody hated him. Overnight, within a matter of a minute, he became the most popular guy in wrestling.
Right.
And when Undertaker came back, isn't it amazing how his knee healed so quick?
Amazing recuperative powers.
Oh, yeah.
The Big Show took the same cinder block and was out how long?
Months.
See, that's my only gripe with a lot of wrestling today, the inconsistencies.
Yeah.
I'd like to give a shout-out to the Hitman.
There you go.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Cam,
Yes.
are you a fan of Metallica?
Yes, I am, actually. I am a fan of Metallica.
So,
Ride the Lightning is my favorite CD.
cool. So would you like to join my group?
Hey, do you know this yet?
I have heard it. and-
Woodchuck has a Metallica fan club he's opening up here in Dayton. So
Okay. Absolutely.
If it's free, I think Kim will be interested.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Oh, okay, there you go. It's free.
Do you have my email address? Are you getting it out by email, or how are you doing it?
Well, I do have access to the internet, so.
Okay. Well, I will keep up on it, so I'll keep up on it through Shawn.
Yeah, if you want to leave a message over on our hotline or something like that, we'll pass along to Cam.
Okay, I'll leave a message how you can contact me.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thanks.
Take care, Woodchuck. So you can be a part of the Metallica fan club. There you go. That's big.
That's huge.
That
I
is
like
huge.
And I do like Metallica. So.
Okay, good. By the way, are you going to get a hotline again? Again, you've become
Well,
like Mr. Milk Carton. Where's Cam Collins?
I've been here an hour and 20 minutes, and you just will not stop with the hotline. I know. I just figured I'd have to say that at some point tonight. So there. No, hotline. I honestly have no idea. We had planned on bringing it back this week. We do have a drastic format change in mind. We want to make it unique. We don't want to come back and do the same thing because that's why it was gone in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So once we have that established, we'll be back up and running.
All right. We got to get to a break. More of your phone calls. We come back. We've got, is this Cold Stone?
That's it.
Cold Stone. Is Undertaker guy still on? He'd hang up.
He's still on.
Okay. You are listening to The Wrestling Guys.
Buckeye Country, 106.5 FM.
You're going to take my job. Jeez. We are brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz. If you need them, call 223-8888. And if you want to look them up on the World Wide Web, www.dgmslaw. Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, Schultz Law.
That is so cool the way they did that.
DGMSLAW Law. Or call them again, 223-8888, 1-800-INJURED. Don't face the opposition alone. Auto accident, motorcycle accident, dog bites, all their injuries. They will help you put a tiger on your side. Like that?
I love that.
There you go.
They should attend some of the shows in the area.
I think they need
They
to,
could get some business.
Line 7, Undertaker guy. Where should they attend the show?
I'm
Which
not going to name
areas?
any. It's,
Okay.
It's
I mean,
just
they're
could happen is all I'm
downtown
saying.
Dayton, Huber Heights, Middletown.
It just
They're in
makes
Springfield,
sense.
so
A
there you
wrestling
go.
show, it
Yeah.
just makes sense.
Undertaker guy, how are you?
Not too bad.
Good.
Yeah, except one thing. That Woodchuck is a pain in the neck.
Why? Nice guy.
He talks like he's retarded. Besides that, he's okay.
Well, you can't help that. I mean...
He sounds like that one guy from Charlie Brown.
Oh!
What?
Jobber's in the house.
You just don't diss fans of Metallica on my show. Period.
Sometimes Jobber just has to take matters into his
Jobber
own hands.
taking control. Jeez.
Got to do it, man.
So that's a new rule. You can't diss Metallica.
Correct.
Or fans of Metallica.
Or fans of Metallica.
Okay,
He
gotcha.
can't blast
That's right.
us. Can't.
No, we are immune.
Okay, that's...
You know, because we're actually close to him. It'd be like suicide for him. You know, if he was to blast us, he would go down too. I don't think he wants to do that. Line 8, here's another new name from West Milton. It's Cold Stone. You're on the wrestling, guys.
Yeah, I was wondering if Deborah's coming back with Austin.
Good question. Have not heard anything official on that, although I would imagine if she's not with Steve Austin, she'll be with somebody else because they'll want to be traveling together, I'm sure, and they'll use her in some capacity.
Come back at the same time.
Yeah.
I was wondering if when Mr. S is coming back and if he's going to make a new DX.
Yes, September.
Yes. Actually, we talked about
Yes,
this earlier
and
in the
yes,
show, yeah. But yeah, right now, I guess the target date is September 24th. Is that what you've heard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Toward the end of September.
Yeah.
And I was also wondering if or when Ken Shamrock's coming back.
That's up in the air.
Yeah, I guess
I don't think
that
anybody knows that, really.
the last I heard is that Ken has actually talked to the World Wrestling Federation in the last couple of weeks. He wanted to get some more shoot fighting out of the way. He felt, the older he got, the less opportunity he would have to get back and try that again. But I guess he's been talking, and there's, I guess, a tentative date right now is April for Ken Shamrock possibly to return either at or after WrestleMania.
I love China!
And somebody loves China.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I have 2 more questions.
Okay, go ahead.
If there's any new wrestlers coming in the WWF.
Yeah, you've got Raven coming in. You've got Steven Regal will be in the World Wrestling Federation. The Dupps apparently are going to be signing soon with the World Wrestling Federation. Mona just signed from WCW, so there's going to be a lot of new faces in the company here pretty soon.
Yeah, and if China is going to get any new belts, like China shot.
Big China fan there. I don't know if China's going to get any championships. I haven't heard anything along that line.
All right. I was wondering if you can blow me up like my brother, Suicide X.
Okay, there you go. Jobber's always willing to help out the fans.
It's a lot of fun, man.
You kind of like that button over there in the power.
Jobber needs his own T-shirt.
Do you still have your email address?
I've been blown up by the Jobber.
I still do, yes.
Mark the Jobber?
markthejobber@hotmail.com.
It's not the Jobber, it's the Jobber.
D-A. Jobber, right.
At hotmail.com.
Correct.
Hotmail, Hotmale?
No.
M-A-I-L. Okay.
I've been
I've
been called that before, but that's not my address.
Let's get to line 1. It's Stevie Hayes, the Doc. You're on the Wrestling Guys.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you
Hey,
doing,
what's
man?
up, Stevie?
Hey, not too bad. What's up, Cam?
How's it going?
Stevie, where the hell are you having that show at? We can't think of the name
Nobody
of the shopping
knows.
center.
It's called the Park Hills Shopping.
Park Hills, thank you.
Okay, it's inside there's a new place down there. It's called the Old Timers Banquet Club.
Okay.
You had the address right there.
Is it 57?
57 East Dayton Yellow Springs.
Yeah, I had the
That's
address
amazing.
right. That's the important thing. You want the address.
Yeah, if you come up 675, instead of turning right to go to Yellow Springs, you just took a left on to Dayton Yellow Springs Road, come up through there past the Speedway station. You can't miss it.
And as I said, you still have that Yellow Springs connection. You're on Yellow Springs Road. So.
Yeah, yep. Well, we got to stay there for a little while.
Oh, there you go. What's going to happen on that show?
Well, I know Frederick from Hollywood. I think we're going to put him up against Chuck West. We was going to run him against Man Mountain again, but he destroyed Man Mountain's leg. He's got a lot of tendon damage in there, so he's going to be out for a little while.
Jeez.
So, and the Brawler, he ended up with a few stitches that night. It was a good show. You guys missed a real good show.
That's what we heard.
And, with Maniac going out, we presented him with a plaque and everything. It was a great show, though.
By the way, I don't know if you got a chance to see the internet. Did you see West Virginia Slim's website?
Yep, we sure did. That's pretty cool.
Nice picture of you and Maniac during that ceremony there in Yellow Springs.
I'll tell you something else if you want to check his ratings on that, too. We also got the 3 of our guys in this top 25 list in the state now, which is totally awesome.
I know you guys marked out a little bit when you saw your names in PWI, right?
That was pretty cool, too. I mean, I tell you, between me and Dave and my other brother, we've really worked hard for this company to get it where it's at today. And, hey, Cam, if you're getting a little rusty on commentating, we could use you on the 19th.
I think I am a little rusty.
Well, come on out on the 19th, man. We'll put you to work.
The return of Cam Collins?
Yeah, I haven't been behind a stick in a while, so.
That's all right, buddy. We got brand new mic waiting for you. It's a guaranteed show. It's signed, sealed, and delivered.
Jeez.
So it's guaranteed to happen. So
this could happen August 19th.
I do have like they have the Adams bash that day. I have a bash to attend of my own, so I may not be be there in the best shape ever. But that's just because I'll be tired, of course.
Of course.
That's when you do your best work, though, Ken.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah, come on out there, guys, and check it out if you're not busy. Then we'll be. I think we're back in Yellow Springs again on the 9th of September.
On September 9th?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, anyway, hey, you guys have a great night.
Hey, Stevie, thanks a lot for the phone calls. Congratulations this past weekend. Good luck a week from Saturday.
All right, bud. You guys have a good week.
All right, take care. If you want more information on OCW, call 937-229-8189. Are you going to do it?
Well, like I said, I may be out of town that day, and that's Marty had his bash and asked me if I was going to his bash, and I have to go to another one myself, so kind of a family reunion type thing.
Okay. Those are priorities are. That's fine. Anyway.
That's where my priorities are? What are you saying, Shawn? Are you accusing me of something?
I don't know. 457-1065, the number if you want to hop on board the Wrestling Guys. Before we get to a break, let's go to line 2. And Greg, you're on the Wrestling Guys.
Hey, Shawn.
Hey, Greg.
I got your answer for you. Girls in Cars was done by Robbie Dupree.
Thank you.
Wow.
I thought I knew like it was a Rick or Robbie or something, so I couldn't remember if it was Rick Derringer or not.
Yeah, Derringer did the Demolition song, too.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to do that. Yeah. I've got it somewhere on CD. I'm going to have to bring that in.
Yeah, I got a comment for Shane Douglas. I read the book.
You know, the one thing I love about Shane is even, in first principle and fans, but there's still a little barrier with some of them as far as takeover is concerned, where they don't want to reveal too much, or they don't want to let their true feelings out sometimes because they're not sure how they're going to be interpreted. Shane doesn't care. Shane's just like, okay, here's how it is, blah, and just lays it on the table, and that's one of the things I love about him.
And what's really cool about Shane is he will admit that sometimes that has not been the best thing to do, but he would not take it back because he wants to speak his mind.
Absolutely.
And that's great.
You see him getting a world title push anytime?
He wrestled for the world title at some of the house shows. I don't know if they're going to... Again, right now, nobody really knows what's going to go on WCW as far as what direction they're concerned. I would find it with the current setup. I don't think I see Shane Douglas going after the world title. But a year from now, who knows where the company's going to be.
See, I'm going to make a prediction about Lance Storm too. I think Bret Hart probably will retire, but he's going to come back as Lance Storm's manager.
They're certainly gearing up Lance Storm to be like the next Hitman.
And then, why would WCW get rid of DDP? He's like one of their most popular performers.
Well, the problem is it's in the payroll. It's not so much with DDP, his performance or anything like that. Again, WCW's owned by Time Warner. They're merging with America Online. WCW had the worst July in the history of the company. They lost over $7 million in July alone.
Wow.
They have to cut costs. And DDP has a very, very high-priced contract. And, so they have to make a decision, is DDP worth the money they're paying him? And, and they may not even have a choice to. If it comes down from the top of Time Warner, Brad Siegel, Vince Russo, they have no choice. They have to get rid of DDP.
And equate that to the Cincinnati Reds talking about getting rid of Barry Larkin. Same situation.
Exactly.
It's not based on talent. It's the money. And also keep in mind they could release him if he would take a pay cut and come back. That doesn't mean he's gone, but they could negotiate a lower salary if DDP would be willing to take that.
And so that's why you don't see him right now involved in any storylines. They don't want to bring him back and then in a couple of weeks have to let him go again. Buff Bagwell's in the same situation, even though right now he's in the middle of a storyline. He is, his contract's around $2 million a year. I mean, that's a guy that's stupid money. He is not worth that. Hulk Hogan's not being used on pay-per-views. Same reason. Who else you want to go down the list and discuss?
Hulk Hogan, you can stop at Hulk Hogan because when they got rid of Horace, they got rid of the wrong Hogan, in my opinion. They are laying out. The bottom line is they are laying out way too much money to the talent that is on the sideline. You could start a new wrestling organization with the money that they have sitting on the sideline.
That's some of the rumors too. Is that this is that everything we are hearing from behind the scenes is actually one big elaborate work to set up a new federation. We talked about that with SFX maybe having their own wrestling league that would be, essentially owned by WCW, but it would be called something different with different wrestlers. That's
if you would
that's a conspiracy theory.
And if you would combine their 2.5 ratings, you almost get Raw's rating.
Anything else, Greg?
As long as you brought up the Cincinnati Reds, there is one more thing. Did anybody notice that Bud Selig seems a lot like the evil Mr. McMahon as far as the Reds are concerned. Trying to hold back the Reds as in Stone Cold Steve Austin, like the game into the wee hours of the morning for the playoffs last year, and all the
it's
stuff
amazing.
done to Pete Rose.
That's a good analogy.
Just something I was looking at.
Hey, Greg, we got to get to a break. Appreciate the phone call.
Bye.
All right, take care of yourself. 457-1065. When we come back, more of your phone calls. Cam Collins in for Marty Adams. I'm Shawn. What am I? I'm Shawn Stidham. Jeez.
And we thought the Buckeye Country thing with me was bad.
It's Willie F. Mouth disease. I'm sorry. And we are on
Buckeye Country 106.5 FM.
Country 106.5. Orale.
Back here on the Wrestling Guys, brought to you by Dyer Garofalo, Mann and Schultz. 24 hours a day. Call them 223-8888 or 1-800-INJURED. Put a Tiger on your side. Don't face the opposition alone, Cam Collins.
I never would.
You never would. Call, again, Dyer Garofalo, Mann and Schultz. 223-8888. Couple of ECW notes to keep you up to speed on. Number one, looks like the ECW is going to sign a TV deal here in the next couple of weeks with the USA Network. Big question is what time they'll be put on.
Well, Friday night, I think, was a bad time slot. From the very beginning, I thought it was bad. Turned out it was. Of course, with the lack of promotion. So anything other than that, I think, would be good.
The one, I guess, that's being talked about is possibly 6 to 8 on Saturday evenings, much like the old WCW NWA shows. I think that would be a bad time also for the ECW crowd.
Now, in today's wrestling age, I think it is too, because it used to be wrestling fans would make sure they were home for Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It was TBS's biggest rated show. I'm not sure they would do the same thing in today's wrestling world. There's too much going on to be home 6 to 8 on a Saturday night.
And so where do you put ECW if you're programming it?
Tuesday.
You think
Tuesday night, without question.
You know, if they had that Tuesday night, I think they could easily get, the 2.0 rating, which TNN wanted. The Friday night was bad. The lack of promotion was bad. And I don't think TNN ever really felt comfortable with the ECW. They just wanted to have wrestling. ECW was the only thing available.
And without promotion, it came on. It was their number one show.
It still is their number one show.
It still is, absolutely.
Let's get back to the phone lines and go to line 3. It's Andy and Courtney. Welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
This must be Andy.
I think it's Andy the Hate Man.
Yeah, it's a tag team call.
Oh, it's a tag team call. Uh-oh.
If you know anything about the next Friday coming?
No. there might be one in September, but it looks like now that's going to get pushed back. I haven't heard anything. I've talked to Marty, every day. We talk every day, and we haven't discussed anything about upcoming signing. We got the Kevin Nash thing at Classic Fest. That's the next thing we have going on.
All right.
Courtney, you have a question?
Yeah, I read that Nicole Bass is now doing adult movies.
God help us all.
I think this is your department.
This would be a Willie F call. He's into that kind of stuff. That would be Willie or Marty.
You might want to.
I don't even want
Marty
to touch.
Likes to watch.
I don't want to touch a Nicole Bass adult movie.
You may want to leave a message on the hotline for Willie this weekend and ask about Nicole Bass. Courtney, why are you interested in Nicole Bass adult movies?
I just read it.
Yeah, no reason.
Right.
Now, I will do this. I will find out. I have someone that would know the answer to that question, and I will find out.
Slop?
What's his name? Marty?
No, not even Slop.
It may be Marty Adams. Marty's listening.
Actually, someone who's kind of a friend of Nicole Bass in the area.
Oh, okay. We'll find out. We'll try and find that answer out for you, Andy.
All right, and the Woodchuck Fan Club starting up soon.
Andy's putting together a Woodchuck fan club, so there you go. Andy, Courtney, thanks a lot for the call.
All right.
Let's go to line 4. Murphy's Law from Bellbrook. You're on the Wrestling Guys.
Thanks. I have a question in the comment.
Okay.
My question is, where's Dan Severn been?
Dan Severn's still wrestling independently, right?
Yeah.
Does some work in Japan.
Still wrestles for the NWA occasionally in different shows. Did he do an XPW show?
I think he has done an XPW show. I want to say that Chris Hero recently did a show where Severn was part of the card, but don't quote me on that, but I think that's the last I heard of Severn.
And Severn was a part of that WXO also last year.
All right. My comment is to my boy Woodchuck. I'm a friend of his and all, and I just got to thank Jobber for blowing up the Undertaker guy for dissing him there. So,
hey, no problem.
Thanks, man.
That Jobber's
no
a class act.
Jobber's a righteous dude.
I can't help it, guys. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Jobber's wearing a cape tonight with a little symbol on his chest and everything. doing the good deed there. 457-1065. You want to hop on board the Wrestling Guys tonight? A couple things I want to remind you of. Again, we are selling tickets for the VIP trip to Classic Fest September 2nd up at Fort Loramie. That day, you've got Eddie Money, John Kay and Steppenwolf, Loverboy, Rick Derringer, also the Wrestling Guys VIP tent, and you get to get access to the tent. Inside the tent, Kevin Nash will be there. Free food. You got preferred seating, preferred parking. Great time. Tickets are available exclusively at Classic Cards and Collectibles, 513-743-1792. Also, don't forget, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. When you need your news, call the Wrestling Guys hotline, 285-0991. And if you get another hotline, Cam, by God, let us know. We'll put it on there.
Absolutely. Can I call the hotline too and get news?
You can call. Well, you always did before, so I don't know why it would be any different.
What's stopping you now, kid?
Thanks for setting me up for that. That was good.
I fed it to you. That's why I'm here.
You did a nice sell on that. Let's go to line 5 and talk to Tim Foley. Tim from Dayton, you got the Wrestling Guys.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I wonder what happened to the main show used to be WWF 1984 called Dr. Slick.
Dr. who?
Slick.
Oh, the Slick.
Yeah,
the Slickster. You want to take it?
Go ahead.
I know he got out of wrestling and actually did start his own ministry. I don't know if it's like a radical thing or not, but he was the Reverend Slick there for a time. That was not a storyline. That was legit. He became an ordained minister. And that's the last I heard. He was involved in the church somewhere, but that's the last I've heard of Slick.
Yeah, I wonder about WCW. You always say they have to come back. How many superstars do they have now?
How many superstars?
Yeah, WCW.
They've got a ton of superstars. The problem is all the guys that have been on the payroll for so long that they weren't using in any capacity. I'll give you an example of how they waste money. When Nitro was in Cincinnati, we were backstage, and Mike Awesome was there. They fly Mike Awesome in, they pay for his hotel room, and they didn't use him. The fat lady with Mike Awesome, they fly her in, pay her to be there, they didn't use her. I mean, that's just an example of things they've done that's, been bad deals. The Demon thing with Kiss is a horrible financial deal for WCW. Eric Bischoff set up that contract. Kiss gets 100% of all the merchandising revenue from Demon gimmick sales. Not that there's not that many.
Much, let's face it.
But still, it's just, there's been some bad financial decisions made by WCW. And it's not only hurt WCW, but even, let's put a local spin on it. Littlefield and Adams up in Huber Heights, which is the T-shirt company, which had the license for all the WCW, and they also do, I think, Looney Tunes T-shirts and things like that. They lost like $20 million because WCW went down the crapper.
Yeah, they went from doing like a few $100,000 per year up to $15 million. Back down to a couple $100,000.
Right. So, it's sad to see, this happen, and they've got to make some tough decisions. I don't think letting Diamond Dallas Page go is the right thing to do. I would agree letting Lex Luger go. Certainly Buff Bagwell, you're not going to be hurt that bad if you lose him.
Right.
Miss Elizabeth, I'm sure we'd go with Luger. There's another salary out the window.
Whatever they're paying Judy Bagwell's got to be too much.
But there's other people there in WCW who just don't need to be there. And,
how about Dustin Wood? Used to be WWF.
Who?
Dustin Rhodes?
Yeah.
Another good example.
Yeah.
What's he doing right now, and what's he being paid to do that?
Well, Dustin Wood, you never see him be on TV. You never see him in front of... You never see him use that much.
No, and yet they're still paying. It's like Cam said earlier. A lot of these guys, they signed to these contracts... number one, to keep them out of the World Wrestling Federation, and number two, they made these contracts guaranteed. In the World Wrestling Federation, you actually have to work to get your money. You get a base salary, and then you make I think Al Snow, for example, makes probably 4 times his base salary every year just because of the house shows he does. In WCW, you didn't have to do house shows. You didn't get bonuses or anything like that, and so guys would, fake the injuries or, just, say I'm not doing the house show.
Guerrero and those guys that came over, I think we're given a base salary somewhere around $200,000, $250,000 a year. But if they work all the house shows, they'll end up making more in the WWF than they did in the WCW.
Just off their house show
Just
bonus.
off the house show bonus.
Yeah, I got one more question. I used to call WWF Kicking Guys, Racing Guys.
Uh-huh.
Used to call 4.5 inches. now you get so big, 6 inches. I want to know, do you think they ever go back 4.5 inches?
I don't know.
I wish they do, because with high school, when they start WWF figure, when you can meet the guys 4.5 inches, I collect that every year. I got over 69 WWF wrestling guys, and now you got 6 inches. And I saw that I don't care for 6 inches. I would like to go back 4.5 inches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that Jax has the contract right now for the World Wrestling Federation figures. I know there's a big market for the old Hasbro figures, but I don't know anything as far as if they're going to come out with another line of those or not. We got to get to a break. Appreciate the phone call.
Well, you're welcome.
All right, take care. All right, 457-1065. You want to hop on board the Wrestling Guys tonight? I'm Shawn Stidham, Cam Collins, and you are listening to the Wrestling Guys on
Buckeye Country 106.5 FM.
You're natural.
It's flowing.
You're there. You're in a zone. Back here on the Wrestling Guys, brought to you by Dyer Garoppolo, Amanda Schultz. That number again, 223-8888, 1-800-INJURED. Put a Tiger on your side. Free initial consultation if you want to visit them. Downtown Dayton, Middletown, Lima, Piqua, Heber Heights, Springfield. They are all over the place. Dyer Garoppolo, Amanda Schultz.
Do you ever wake up at night saying that?
Not as many times as I do the Pulsations one. Which, by the way, Pulsations is the sponsor of the Wrestling Guys Hotline, 285-0991, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And also we have the Wrestling Guys website.
TheWrestlingGuys.com.
TheWrestlingGuys.com. You like that one?
I like that.
You like that one? It is updated, by the way, new columns and all that other stuff, so go check that out if you're on the internet. If you want to email us, too, there's some links there, and you can do that. A couple of other things to keep you up to date on. Again, tickets available for the Wrestling Guys VIP trip to Classic Fest up in Fort Laramie, September 2nd and 3rd. On that September 2nd, we've got Eddie Money, Loverboy, John Steppenwolf, Rick Derringer, all on the show. Plus, the HWA will be in action on that day, and Kevin Nash in the VIP tent. Tickets are going fast. There's only 50 tickets available. We sold a bunch of them today, called Classic Cards, down in Springboro, 513-743-1792. You want to go into that. Plus, you get your preferred seating, preferred parking, all that other stuff. Again, Saturday, the HWA back in action in Middletown, National Guard Armory on South and Main Street. Logan Kane, Extremist in a weapons match. Shark Boy, Ray Steele, Cody Hawk, all your other HWA superstars on the show. How's that?
That was fantastic.
Thank you. If you want your tickets, you can support the Midi Storm baseball team. Call 513-424-4636. Ask for Chris. Also, tickets will be available at the door and also at Power Station Gym and Bumpers NASCAR in Trenton.
Man, you're
being
a pro.
too quiet.
You're a pro. I'm in awe. I'm just putting you over here.
Shut up. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go to line 6 and talk to Joe in Germantown. You've got the Wrestling Guys.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
I was just going to comment on something. Earlier, you played Metallica. What is it, When I Disappear, or whatever it is?
Tonight we're talking Metallica, baseball, you name it. We can do it here. Yeah, what about it?
Well, I was just going to say you were talking about somebody using it for entrance music. There's a guy in XPW, because I saw it this weekend up on Lima Cable. He uses that song for entrance music, so I didn't know. But
is that on Channel 53 or something around here locally? Did they ever get that deal?
It's the America One Channel 51, I think, is what it was.
Okay.
That ECW used to be on.
Anything else? Oh, okay. Did you lose him?
What
happened?
I have no idea. It just went dead all of a sudden. It must have been the storms or something.
It's Marty.
It's the
It's Marty's fault. We can blame Marty for this.
Marty.
Absolutely. 457-1065 if you want to hop on board. And Jobber's scrambling now because that was actually going to be our last call. We've got to wrap things up here in a minute, but So again, do we have another call, Jobber, we can go to?
It's the Nightmare Randy Kirby from West Carrollton.
Wouldn't be a show without Randy Kirby.
Absolutely.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Randy.
Good, Randall.
Oh, thanks, Shawn. Got a question. What's the update on the condition of Bam Bam Bigelow?
Everything we've heard is Bam Bam's going to be fine. In case, for those of you who don't know, there was a brush fire near Bam Bam's home, and there's some kids that I guess were trapped in there or whatever, and Bam Bam ran in there and saved them and suffered some second-degree burns in the process. Thankfully, I guess it wasn't that serious. He's going to be out for a few weeks, but he should be back good as new. And plus, he's got the fire, tattoos anyway, so it'll just blend right in.
Covers it right up.
Exactly.
Well, that's called living the gimmick, I guess.
Isn't it, though?
Real quick, other question, too, about, do you guys remember a guy by the name of Damien Demento in the WWF?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
didn't know if he still wrestled or he was retired or...
I honestly don't know. I don't know about that one either.
Okay, well, I'm sure you guys have heard about the chair shot.
We heard about the chair shot.
I'll tell you, Shawn, seeing you go through that table all those months ago...
That was vicious, let me tell you. That was the weakest table bump ever.
Oh, but you got the pop of the night.
I did get the pop of the night, but still.
One more quick thing, man. I got to say congratulations to Two Crazy Tim.
Oh, that's right. Two Crazy Tim, one half of the 420 Twins, brand new papa. Had a baby girl over the weekend?
Yep.
It's wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
All right,
Thanks,
take care, Randy.
Bye.
I guess I should wish my daughter a happy birthday this Friday, so I'll do that right now.
better.
For Hope. Yes. Got to wish her a happy birthday on Friday. I was going to do it Friday on the hotline, but I'll do it here too. So anyway.
Hit the wider audience. Get out there.
It's on the 50,000 watt FM signal and everything else. Let's do one more phone call. We got to make this one quick. Let's go to Tip City and Rick on line 5. You got the wrestling guys.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, Rick.
First-time caller. I've been listening to you guys for a while, but can't ever seem to get through.
Well, you're on tonight.
But I'd like to just make a couple comments. I got a quick question. I
Okay.
appreciate your show and appreciate the way you guys try to inform all the wrestling fans and give them up to date on all the people that are missing or dead or whatever.
Thank you.
But got a quick question for you. Lex Luger. What are the chances of him going back to the WWF, especially after the way he kind of slammed Vince with the ball incident at Minnesota?
I doubt that there's a place for the World Wrestling Federation right now for Lex Luger. Part of the problem is Luger got to a point where he was more interested in the posing than the wrestling.
Right.
And I don't know if he would, number one, be accepted in the World Wrestling Federation locker room. Those guys, for the most part, up and down the card, bust their butts every time they're in the ring.
Right.
I don't think he could make it anywhere else. Let's face it, the independent scene, he could go and do that, but he's not going to make nearly as much money as he would just by taking a pay cut to stay in WCW.
He would have to charge an enormous
Well,
fee.
all those guys are going to have to realize that with WCW losing the bucks that they are, they're all going to have to take a cut or they're going to be out of work before too long.
Well, the joke used to be that WCW, and Vince Russo alluded to this the other day, the joke was that WCW was just an ATM machine. If you just kind of stayed quiet, the check would keep coming in, and those days look like they're over.
Well, especially with Turner selling out to Time Warner.
Well, it's Time Warner selling out to AOL. That's the key there.
That's true.
But
I was surprised to hear that Buff's name was on the list. Is it because he's more of a head case in the locker room, or
Buff Bagwell?
Yeah, because I figured they'd still probably try to push him.
Buff Bagwell is a head case in the locker room. He is not the most pleasant of guys to be around. Let's say the guy certainly has his fan base. I mean, he has a ton of women fans. I know Stephanie, who used to be my secretary, was a huge fan of his, still is. But he's still in the locker room, very difficult to get along with, very ego. He has a huge ego.
Yeah.
He really does. And I don't know if, the incidents he had, he's
the legal trouble.
The legal trouble.
He didn't help himself there.
Right. And so that may all come back to bite him in the butt.
Well, I was going to say, Vince might gobble him up if he would go on the market.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he would possibly push Buff.
I think the legal troubles would weigh a lot on Vince's mind, given what they've gone through the last few months.
And I also think that of those guys that maybe let go, Goldberg's name was also on there too, because he's been difficult lately in the locker room as well. Goldberg's probably the only name who Vince would say, I want this guy now.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one. DDP, I think he would take just because everybody knows DDP's work ethic, and plus he would bring Kimberly along, and that's always helps out too.
Yeah.
But I don't see Buff being coveted by Vince McMahon or any of the other guys. No.
Well, one of these days I'm going to make it down to Pulsations to meet you guys, or I'm going to try to get out to one of the shows. Been an avid wrestling fan for, back in the 70s. So got a lot of knowledge on who's where, and belong to a Wrestling Tribune reader sheet, or whatever you want to call it. Get one weekly. So
which one do you get?
The one out of New York.
Is that the Lariat or Observer or
no
PW Torch?
Pro
Wrestling Torch?
Schmiel. It's out of New York. I can't think.
I don't know if I've heard of this one.
Because they're on. They have like 4 issues a year that they take a week off, and this is the 1 week that they're off. But it's called the Wrestling Tribune, and it's out of New York. And so a lot of what you guys have been talking about, I've been able to follow real closely. So.
Well, we appreciate the phone call. Thanks a lot, and please, don't be a stranger. Call back
I
again.
was gonna say you'll recognize me if I ever show up to Pulsations. I got the Big Papa Pump look going right now.
Well, we look forward to seeing you.
I get a lot of head turns, and then they realize it's not the real thing.
All right, appreciate the phone
All
call.
right, catch you later, guys.
Cam Collins, thank you very much for coming in. Great to have you in.
It's great to be here. Thank you very much.
You have an open invitation, you know that. So anytime you get you just have to come in.
Hey, September 2nd, I'm there.
Don't forget, again, thewrestlingguys.com and also the Wrestling Guys hotline, 285-0991, brought to you by Pulsations. Thanks to everybody for calling in. Don't forget HWA this Saturday, OCW a week from this Saturday. UCW didn't happen tonight. Hopefully they'll be back again soon. For Cam Collins, I'm Shawn Stidham. For the Jobber, for you, thank you very much. You didn't even say anything about your wife.
My wife, Tracy, is here. Malibu Barbie. People know her by a couple different names, but she's here with me. So
taking a shot at your wife.
No,
My
it's
God.
not a shot. That's the name that was given to her by UCW.
So Malibu Barbie, thank you. Does that make you Ken? There's been some rumors about Ken. You know that. I heard.
And I am not Ken.
You're listening to The Wrestling Guys on Buckeye Country 106.5 FM. Thanks a lot.
The Wrestling Guys. And we're back again for 120 minutes of solid wrestling talk and mayhem. Shawn Stidham, Marty Adams, Joe in the house tonight. Jobber lost, and we don't know where he is, but it doesn't matter because we are the tag team champions of talk radio, the Wrestling Guys.
And we're apparently wearing Speedos tonight.
And we do have our Speedos on, and I will have to say, Shawn, you're very cute in your Speedos.
You like the polka dots?
Well, no, but the one big polka dot I do. Well, big. I mean, jeez. We're talking wrestling.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Why did they let it out about us wearing Speedos while we were in here?
Some things you just better left unsaid, and I thought that was one that would stay in that category.
You're wearing XXX Speedos. There's just a lot to talk about there.
You have lost weight.
Yes, but hey, we could have been more X's.
Not a lot of news tonight.
Oh, I'll tell you what. It has been, for all intents and purposes, kind of anticlimactic when you think of all the things that were supposed to happen at the pay-per-view that didn't happen, all the things that were supposed to happen in the reorganization or supposed reorganization of WCW, which really didn't occur, and
which may still.
There's going to be changes, but I mean, a lot of hype this weekend about the meeting that Brad Siegel was going to have with the staff before the pay-per-view, which really was more of a sit down. I want you here on time. I want to know when you have appearances that you're going to be there, things of that nature. Really was not anything out of the ordinary.
But then again, if there are going to be major changes, this is the time period where it's going to happen. They're going to wait until after television tapings, after the pay-per-view, and it's your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday when the acts will follow.
Interesting thing that's come out, and I don't know that it's been solidified as yet, talking about running Nitro and Thunder under the same guys on a Monday night.
That's definite.
And I know that I've heard that, but I really haven't heard that officially from anybody. I know you're saying it.
Yeah.
Well, how long is this show that night?
It is going to start, I don't have the calendar in front of me, like October 23rd or something like that. It's after the Australian tour, and they're going to come back, and basically you're going to have Nitro on from 8 to 10. Then as soon as Nitro's off the air, they're going to tape Thunder for Wednesday night.
Yeah, but my point being, how long is the live show that night?
Well, if you go back to, going back to television tapings and days gone by, I remember going to a Saturday night's main event taping in Cincinnati, and they used to tape, this is the World Wrestling Federation, would tape their syndicated show and then also tape Saturday night's main event. The show started at 7 o'clock in the evening and ended at 12:30 without an intermission.
And you're right, I've been there where they've had 18 straight matches.
Exactly.
And, they're definitely a good cost-saving measure. You may lose the house, but the house gates haven't been that impressive to begin with, so it's probably a smart thing to do.
anything they can do right now to cut budget. And let's get right into the news. Apparently, one of the things they're going to try and do to cut budget is possibly settle their lawsuit with the World Wrestling Federation. If you remember back in the glory days of WCW and the NWO, the World Wrestling Federation filed a lawsuit citing copyright infringement by using Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in what the WWF claimed was more like their Diesel and Razor Ramon personas, and also alleging that it was actually the World Wrestling Federation invading WCW at the time. Now, as we've told you many times over the last couple of weeks, Time Warner and America Online are merging at the end of this year, and Time Warner wants to get as much debt as possible erased before that merger happens, and so they feel like one of the things they should do is to go ahead and settle this lawsuit to go ahead and take a step towards that direction.
Hey, with any business, nobody wants to take anybody's bad baggage when they acquire the business. And at this point, AOL is not going to be looking to take on a lot of losses or a lot of lawsuits, and it could hold up things very easily.
One thing which should be interesting tonight after Thunder, WCW Live, the internet radio show on WCW.com, will have Vince Russo as their guest. And, of course, this man has been under the hot seat all week long, and so it should be very interesting to hear those comments from Vince Russo tonight on WCW.com. One other thing that happened last night at the Thunder tapings, Jacques Rougeau was sent home after just one night in World Championship Wrestling. Apparently, the former Mountie was asked to do a job to the Cat. He got mad, and they said, there's the door.
Hey, I don't blame him. I'm so sick of these prima donnas. You come in there, you want a paycheck, you're supposed to be a wrestler, you know what the game is, you know what the sport's all about, and then you want to come in one night and run the show? Get out.
And this is a guy who hasn't been around for a few years, too.
He didn't look that good anyway. Get him the hell out of there.
By the way, whoa.
Hey.
Taking care of business over there.
That's right. Tell him, Joe.
If you want to see Bill Goldberg tomorrow night, he will be on Turn Ben Stein On, a show on Comedy Central. That'll be at 10:30 tomorrow night.
Turn Ben Stein
He's apparently going to be trying to turn Ben Stein on tomorrow night.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe shouldn't that be on Cinemax at night? Exactly.
Yes.
Also, Joe's working over there tonight.
He's really playing with the new gimmicks.
By the way, VH1's show The List, in case you missed it last night, I'm sure they're going to rerun it about 15 times over the course of the weekend. Best pump-up songs for your workout. That was the category. Kevin Nash, the host, with panelists Scott Steiner, Booker T, Sting, and Disco Inferno. They vote for the best pump-up workout song.
I can imagine some of the comments that come through that grouping.
Anyway, check VH1 to find out when that's going to be on next. The marriage between the World Wrestling Federation and Viacom already paying dividends. Time Warner announcing yesterday that it signed a new deal with Viacom that will see the MTV networks on over 200,000 more cable homes by the time the World Wrestling Federation makes its debut on the Nashville network in September.
I'm sure that's going to upset them, being seen by even more people across the country tuning in cable.
We mentioned that Goldberg is on the Ben Stein show tomorrow night on Comedy Central. Also tomorrow night, Triple H will be a guest on the Conan O'Brien show. Ratings are in. Raw, a 5.9 with hours of 5.2 and 6.5. That is down from last week's 6.3. Nitro with a 2.4. Hours were 2.7 and 2.1. And, again, both shows dropping a little bit in the ratings. And that's almost it. Want to send...
you know what, though? You have to expect that this time of year. I think Raw coming down about 0.5 and then, 0.02 rather for Nitro. And both of them dropping off, but... It's summer, a lot of other things going on. I don't think I don't know of any other programming. Do you that really would have?
Monday Night Football, I'm sure it did a little bit, but not that much.
No, the Super Bowl replay.
Well, Super Bowl replay. You got everybody wants to see how Dennis Miller's going to do in the booth. So,
jeez,
y'all like Dennis Miller in the booth?
You know what though? The first thing I thought about, and I have to admit that I listened to it, was that everything was an expansion on something. In other words, I wish I would have wrote down a few of the things he said, but instead of just making a generalized comment or making his point, he had to take it to the nth degree every time he said something about anything.
The line about Bud Adams, was that AstroTurf on his head, that was a pretty good line he made about the owner.
He had some real good lines. He talked about Carl Pickens a lot from the Bengals, but we're veering from the wrestling format.
Yes, we are. By the way, if you want to call in tonight, 457-1065, a lot of things to discuss. This past Sunday, WCW with their pay-per-view New Blood Rising. Not a lot of positive comments about that.
What do you mean? Hey, I didn't say anything. Joe's
what are you doing over there, Joe?
Why are you pointing at me? Because you were laughing, and I laughed because you laughed, and I didn't laugh because of what Shawn didn't say.
What's that?
Pay-per-new?
Pay-per-new. The pay-per-new. What's wrong with the pay-per-new?
I knew what he meant. See, I never say anything. But if you do that,
Maybe
Shawn jumps on it
Maybe
immediately.
it was too bad to clarify as a pay-per-view, so it was a pay-per-view.
See, this is why I'm glad that I can only see Marty and not Shawn in this video.
Wait, let's face it, it was a stinker.
Yeah.
A lot of hype, new blood rising, supposed to be the turn of events for WCW, a lot of new things happening, the changing of the guard. I didn't see any guard change. I didn't see a lot of things that excited me. If anything, there were 2 or 3 pretty good matches. The Billy Goldberg, in my opinion, was an obvious work right from the start. It wasn't well planned. The getting hurt on a motorcycle and.
Well, what do you think about the new way WCW is presenting its product as far as the announcers saying things like, "Oh, that's not in the script," or Goldberg's refusing to sell the move? Do you
I don't like
that?
it.
I don't either. And the one thing I guess that they're trying to do is have a reality-type format, kind of like Survivor, Big Brother. Those shows, of course, are pretty popular right now. I guess Survivor is. But, they're trying to do that kind of storyline. I don't, even though people say, we don't play up with kayfabe, we're not supposed to.
No, but the difference is this. Both of us grew up wrestling fans. And even though in the back of our minds we knew that a guy wasn't going to get hit 25 times in the face and then shake his head and come back, something in the back of our minds also was sitting there saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe what's happening."
You okay over there, Joe?
Joe's still practicing.
Joe's playing with the computer over there.
And you wanted to always have that doubt. That's what I think true wrestling fans rely on, to take away that doubt, and especially in the interviewing process or in the commentating, is ridiculous. And I think that they're doing that, and they're insulting a lot of the smarter fans out there.
Well, you and I have both done interviews with other types of radio stations or magazines or whatever, and we're always asked, is wrestling fake or whatever, and we always bring up the comparison, did you not like Bruce Willis's last movie, even though it wasn't him that actually jumped off the building? We know when we watch those types of shows, it's not Bruce Willis really jumping off the building, that Michael Keaton really isn't Batman and all that other kind of stuff.
He isn't?
I'm sorry, you didn't get that memo? I guess George Clooney was the last Batman, but that was horrible.
I am crushed.
Anyway, but that doesn't take away from us enjoying that movie or that program. And we all understand that wrestling's scripted and all that, but you don't want it brought out in that way every time the announcer, he didn't sell the move. What's happening here? Is that in your script, Mark? I don't see it in mine. I mean, that's just bad.
No, it's in bad taste, and it's not going to win them over any other fans. I think they're playing to the internet crowd, the smart mark, so to speak, a little bit too much. And they have to rely on the people that are going to pay attendance numbers, and they're going to turn on television spots and pay pay-per-views.
By the way, Thunder tonight, according to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer, a worse show than this past Monday's Nitro. Quick preview of what you will see tonight. David Flair proposing to Ms. Hancock. WCW Tag Team title match, Rey Mysterio Jr. and Hoovy against Jindrak and O'Hare. We'll talk about them a little bit later. The Demon will take on the Great Muta. Demon with a face turn. I don't understand that.
Nope.
Team Canada will take on the MIAs. Also, you're going to have Mark Madden and Mean Gene Okerlund.
You'll never make me understand why anybody in the right mind, other than Mark Madden's mother and whoever Gene Okerlund's related to, would ever watch that match.
Also,
that's the greatest time. If you're there live, wait and get your hot dogs and beer during that fiasco.
Well, you're going to have to, because if you're not, then you're going to have to wait behind Mark Madden to get your beers and hot dogs.
That's one of those cost-cutting measures we're going to talk about later. We're going to help WCW out before this show's over.
Yes, we will. And also various altercations tied between Kevin Nash, Goldberg, Booker T, and et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera.
SmackDown preview for this coming Thursday. Intercontinental title match, Val Venus defends against Eddie Guerrero. The Cat and Rikishi against Perry Saturn and Terry. By the way, I have my official Cat TV guide this week.
You do?
Very nice.
Okay. Are you happy?
Oh, it's very happy. Joe, do you have the Kurt Angle TV guide?
I was just getting ready to say, who else is on the covers there?
What have you got? Kurt Angle, is it Rikishi and Jericho, I think, are the other ones on the covers this week.
Can you see the front of Rikishi or the back?
It is the front.
It's a fold-out.
Special double issue just to get that in.
Okay.
Also on SmackDown this week, hardcore title on the line, Benoit versus Steve Blackman. Jeff Hardy and Devon Dudley, how about that for a tag team? Against Christian and Edge in a non-title match. Also,
where's Bub at?
I don't know. Another non-title match, The Rock versus Triple H. And a couple of announcements that were made by Mick Foley on SmackDown this Thursday. Coming up on Raw, Stephanie McMahon will be forced to defend the women's belt against Lita. And also, should Blackman be able to defeat Benoit in that hardcore match, he will get to face Shane McMahon. All of that is this coming Monday on Raw.
It sounds pretty good, and I hate to say it, but just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, they've done it again.
Like?
In WCW.
You know, the one thing, we both took some heat over the course of the weekend with our comments about Vince Russo, and I basically said yesterday on the hotline, Russo needs to be gone. Until the upper management gets its act together, nothing is going to change with the in-ring or on-television product of World Championship Wrestling. They have talent. They certainly have the talent and the ability there. They're just not being used properly, and it's very confusing. Whenever you sit down and watch a show that you enjoy, whether it be the World Wrestling Federation or any other show, pick Friends, pick The Practice, or NYPD Blue, you don't sit down going, man, I hope this show doesn't suck tonight. And that's the feeling you get when you sit down to WCW. Boy, I hope this is good. I hope this isn't bad.
You keep looking for something to go wrong.
Exactly.
Something ridiculous, something stupid, and you know that somebody's going to do it. In the back of your mind, it's just when. You can almost time it.
And the World Wrestling Federation certainly isn't perfect. I didn't like the end of Raw this past Monday with playing of the music, and the match really hadn't ended. There wasn't a finish to that main event. And I didn't agree with that. But you know, the WWF doesn't do those things that often. You can look at the overall product. I love the Taz Jerry Lawler angle. It was nice seeing Vince McMahon back on television. You know, those things, you know, in the overall product, you can forgive a couple of things. But WCW, just the overall product is very, very difficult to watch right now.
Very difficult to watch?
Very difficult.
Very, very difficult.
Very, very difficult.
Go ahead and do your bashing.
Hey, it's Big Show.
No, the Big Show is back in the Little Show down in Louisville.
We'll talk about that when we come back. Your phone calls, 457-1065. This is The Wrestling Guys.
On Buckeye Country WPFB. Take that, Shawn. Bend over.
No.
I wasn't supposed to do that?
I'm not kayfabing this one. There's no way.
Welcome back to The Wrestling Guys. Brought to you by Darren Drozdov, man.
That's a tape of Lee and Karen in the morning.
The accident attorneys. And if you're getting spacked around and you need somebody on your side,
Joe, are you having this a little bit too much fun over there?
Call Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz at 1-800-INJURED.
What the hell? Going into the break, we were talking about the Big Show. In case you didn't catch this on the hotline, Big Show was sent home Monday from the World Wrestling Federation because of, among other things, the guy's just too overweight.
Yeah, take off, chunky butt. They sent him back down there. The guy was lazy to begin with. You can only have so many liposuctions in your life to try to lose weight. Go down and see the boys in Louisville.
So virtually at the 11th hour, they made the change and put Kane in to attack The Undertaker and set up a Kane-Undertaker feud starting at SummerSlam. And the Big Show, as Marty said, he's going to be going down to see Mr. Jim Cornette at Ohio Valley Wrestling and work there full time.
Jimmy still in jail, out of jail, or is he still on the
I think
lam?
Jimmy just has warrants out for his arrest. I don't think he's
Danny
in jail
Davis, take care of him, will you?
So does this mean that Mark Henry and Big Show are going to form a tag team now?
Maybe Big Show, Mark Henry, and Viscera on a six-man tag.
The Buffet Boys.
That's a good name for them.
Yeah, I like them.
Let's go to the phone line, 457-1065, the number.
All right, let's go to line one, all the way from West Milton. Suicide X, you've got the Wrestling Guys.
Hey. I like how you guys right now are dissing WCW.
Hey, man, we're an equal opportunity disser.
I understand.
And if you're doing bad, and, you know, we're talking about a lot of our friends here, but when we talk to them, we tell them the same thing.
And, you know, a lot of them behind the scenes will tell you they're not too happy with the product either. So, you know, it's not that they're proud of what they're putting out there right now.
I know. You guys should just change from the Wrestling Guys to talk bad about WCW.
No, I mean,
oh, man.
That's
Are you a
not the
WCW
case.
fan?
No, I don't even like them.
Okay.
You see, the thing is, you know, I grew up really being a fan of the NWA more than anything else, and that's really where WCW's roots are. So I would love to see WCW be good. I don't want to watch bad pay-per-views or bad Nitros or Thunders. I want to be entertained. WCW is not doing that right now, and some of the things they do, you just shake your head going, who in the hell thought of that?
Yeah, I know.
And then we know because it's another friend of ours.
Oh, my other question is, I heard your show last week, and I heard Mr. Ass is coming out with a new DX. Who's it going to be with?
Well, apparently, the rumor is that he would be alongside of Triple H or somebody like that, and Road Dogg and X-Pac would stay the same.
Just like last time?
Kind of, yeah. But I can't see them taking Triple H back down into a DX. I think it's going to be somebody else, maybe a Val Venus or somebody along those lines.
I believe on a SmackDown this week, I'm not going to say who, but they announced that there's another possible member of DX on SmackDown.
Say who it is.
Oh, yeah.
Say who it is.
Kane?
Probably.
Yeah, Kane comes out.
I think maybe that would have happened.
Kane comes out and makes a statement that he's always been a member of DX.
Okay.
Well, that's my other question is, why did Kane turn his back on The Undertaker?
We just told you, Big Show got sent home, and they had to make a change and put somebody against The Undertaker, so they decided to go with Kane.
They've been leaking Kane going to a heel turn for quite some time. The catalyst for it was Chunky Butt just couldn't get in there and wrestle, so they had to send him to Louisville. So Kane had to go heel because of Chunky Butt.
But Kane's more better as a heel than he is as a babyface.
I think Kane needs somebody with him to put him over as a heel. He needs a Paul Bearer or somebody like that.
Yeah, but how does a guy in a red uniform with a big red scary mask on that goes, how is he ever going to be a babyface?
Whoever thought Stone Cold Steve Austin would be a babyface at one point?
Give him X-Pac.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, there's somebody that can help him, but I agree with Shawn. You need some help there one way or the other.
Yeah, I know. Well, can you guys blow me up here one more time?
Yeah, Joe, take care of the man.
Do it?
I'll slap him.
No, no, he
wants blown up, Joe.
He wants to get blown up. Joe, blown up.
There you go. There's the timer. 3, 2, 1, boom. There you go. So there you go. Another satisfied caller.
Hey, we love him. You gotta do what you have to do in this business, and that's why we're here.
Hey, one thing we want to mention real quick. Dave Diamond called us before we went on the air. Apparently, Dr. Creep is back in the hospital, had some gallbladder surgery. He should be out of the hospital next day or so, but we want to send, of course, our best wishes to the doctor.
I'm sure if Doc's able, he's probably listening to the show and just does a great job of promoting wrestling and independent wrestling with the OCW group in the Miami Valley, and we're going to talk about the big OCW show. Too bad it's the same day as Adams Fest, but we're going to talk about that here a little later, and a lot of wrestling coming in, and a big WWF announcement before the end of the show.
Yes, sir. Another guy who talks a lot about wrestling is on the phone right now from TWNP News and also Chair Shots, line 2, BJ Bethel. How you doing, BJ?
Hey, what's up?
Not a lot.
Beej.
Hey, you, a couple days ago in the hotline, you wanted to know how to send feedback to Margaret Carlson of CNN.
Yes.
I found out that if you go to their website, CNN.com, and type in CNN.com/feedback, you'll get on their kind of a field form that'll let you send email to the company.
Is it an email or do they have a message board?
It's kind of like it's a form field, basically.
I need to send something in.
They got a message board, but, you know, being the Communist News Network, you're not allowed to open your own discussions on it.
For those of you listening that don't know what we're talking about with Margaret Carlson, if you remember last week we talked about the Time Magazine political correspondent that called the World Wrestling Federation an anti-black organization because of The Rock's involvement at the Republican National Convention, despite the fact that Rock's half black. This past weekend on CNN's was it Roundtable or Capital Gang, she said that The Rock was... and I don't have the quote here in front of me, the white, racist, skinhead, hateful guy. Hateful wrestling guy is what she called him.
Obviously, she's not been out of her closet in a long time, and we could say a lot of timely things about her, but we'll save it. Hey, Beach, put that on. We'll put that on our website where people can send a reply to that statement.
And the other thing, too, I mean, given The Rock's background, I would think that being called a skinhead would be very, very offensive. And I would demand, if I'm the World Wrestling Federation and I'm The Rock, I would demand a public apology from her for that comment, because obviously she is very misinformed.
She's an idiot.
Yes.
Well, misinformed, I think, is an understatement, because, I mean, you think she'd at least seen a picture of the guy before she tore him apart on TV, you know?
Well, his picture was everywhere because of the, Republican National Convention. He was on the front of USA Today. He was on every single newscast, including CNN. She's just an idiot.
Oh, basically. And as for the whole Russo, shoot thing, my 2 cents is you take the double O out of shoot and you replace it with an I. And I mean, I'm been a WCW fan 15 years. I mean, I've gotten more hate mail from WWF marks than anybody on the internet, probably short of Bob Ryder. And I think the stuff sucks. And if I think it's horrible, then I don't think they can get much lower than that.
The latest is that apparently Russo would like to change some of the names of the pay-per-views. Like he wants to change the name of the Great American Bash. I guess he wants to keep Starrcade and Bash at the Beach and a couple others, but he's looking to make an all-new WCW.
Well, it's a challenge because he's already ruined all the titles. Now he's got to go into the pay-per-views, I mean, who needs to remember, like, the Magnum TA, Nikita Koloff Best of 7 series and Flair versus Rhodes when he can completely trash that legacy while you're at it.
You know, that company has such a great history. And again, you know, officially it's not the NWA, but they own all the rights to the program, and they can call themselves that. They certainly have, you know, all the ties with Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat and all that.
Well, their bloodline definitely goes through them.
If you didn't have those ties, and you had to go buy the product today, hell, nobody'd be watching.
Exactly.
I mean, that's all they got left, the diehards. And, I mean, they're losing them quick.
It's tough to watch. It really is.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll get things straightened out. And, you know, you can vote for Bush in 2000 or Gore in 2000. My ticket's going to have Terry Taylor and Johnny Ace for 2000. That's who I'm voting for. We should start a website right now. No more Russo. Ace and Taylor, they're your men.
Go ahead and put that down somewhere, Beej. I'll make sure that they see it, all right?
All right, take care.
Take care, BJ.
BJ Bethel, and I'll tell you, if you don't listen, was it TWNPnews.com?
TWNPnews.com. BJ is a columnist there and also has an internet radio show with Chair Shots and does a great job with that and does a lot to help us out. We're always appreciative of his efforts.
Does scoops occasionally. I think he's doing a little writing for, and Edison College turning out one of the better journalistic men in the area. BJ, you do a great job, and we appreciate everything, and keep us in the know, and keep promoting the Wrestling Guys.
Especially do that. 457-1065, the number. You're listening to the Wrestling Guys on Buckeye Country 106.5.
And let's take another call on line 3. Kid Chuck, you've got the Wrestling Guys.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, Chuckster?
Okay, one real quick question. On the pay-per-view, they said that Goldberg's motorcycle accident took place in Sturgis. Does that have anything to do with the fact this is the first year they didn't do this pay-per-view as Road Wild? Because they always did that in Sturgis.
Well, Goldberg was actually out at Sturgis this year. So he did make an appearance out there.
So did Steiner. A lot of the guys went out. Rick Steiner went out. A lot of them loved the setting. The thing was just it was a giant financial loser for them because it was a free entity. And if the pay-per-view money didn't offset it, then you really took it in the short ones.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Okay.
I don't know how you can follow that, but you try.
Do you guys have a prediction for the ECW Tag Title Tournament?
Good question. I think that they're going to give it to one of the teams that you least expected. I don't think you're going to see a Dreamer or a Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, I think it's going to go to one of the traditional teams, one of the regular tag teams.
My money, and maybe this is a long shot, I would go with Simon Diamond and Swinger.
That's exactly who I think is going to win it.
I think Diamond's a guy who has a lot of upside potential. I think that's a guy they want to promote, and giving him the tag team belts would certainly be one of the forums to do that.
Do you think if Simon Swinger get the belts, they'll put Dawn Marie with them as a valet, possibly?
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
All right, that's all I had, guys.
Hey, Chuck, we appreciate it.
Later.
Hey, thanks for calling in, buddy.
If you want to call in tonight, 457-1065. This is the Wrestling Guys. Shawn Stidham, Marty Adams, Joe behind the board. Back here on the Wrestling Guys, Buckeye Country 106.5, and we are brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann, and Schultz. Put a Tiger on your team 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you need them, give them a call. Marty, the phone number?
1-800-INJURED. They'll be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Go ahead. Hit that accident thing again, Joe. Now you can't do it. That's it. That's our theme song.
223-8888 is our local number 2 if you need a question or you have a problem. You just need a Tiger on your side.
I found a cool button.
What was the cool button? What is that?
That means they're going to vote Marty off the island.
Is that the Survivor music? Yeah. See, we never get to see Survivor.
They would not vote me off the island. They'd want me on there in case they ran out of things to eat. You know how many Islanders I could feed for a month?
Marty equals buffet.
Yes, it. You thought the Big Show was Mr. Buffett, huh?
Hey, one thing, let's talk about this. USA Today ran this today. Kohl's department stores ran a survey among kids between the 6th and the 9th grade, over 300 little Rugrats. Who do you think was their number one choice for a celebrity teacher for a day?
Vince Russo.
The Rock.
Joe, do you go with Vince Russo?
Sure.
Marty, you're right. The Rock.
Of course. Of
course, we brought this up. If it wasn't a wrestling answer, we wouldn't have brought it up. But
that's right. No, we would have still said it.
38% of boys polled named The Rock as their number one choice for a celebrity teacher. 35% of girls picked who?
Kurt Angle.
No, not a wrestler.
A singer.
NSYNC.
Yep.
NSYNC, if you can call them NSYNC.
I knew it. What are you talking about? They're good.
Are you an NSYNC fan?
Yes, I am. 98 Degrees, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. You don't like them?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
You're going to take some heat for that tonight. You know that.
Why am I taking heat for it?
I
Because
guarantee
I like
you're going to
NSYNC?
take heat. Yes, you will.
Everybody has their own taste. If you're that Adams Fest, then it's blues. You know, it's a
Hey, Marty,
lot of
do you
different
have the
stuff.
rolls for 'em?
Excuse me?
Do you have the rolls for 'em?
No, Shawn has all
No,
those.
I wouldn't touch those.
He
No,
mixes them in. He has his wrestling guy spank the NSYNC dolls.
No. 457-1065.
Let's go to line 6. True Tim, you've got the wrestling guys.
It's true.
What's up, Tim?
Not much. I was wanting to know since the King Jerry Lawler is going to be wrestling at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Do you think that they'll bring in a special guest, a commentator, like maybe Austin?
That's a good idea. I don't think they would make it Austin for that match, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let's face it, Jerry Lawler and Taz is not going to be a long-term feud. Whoever Taz is going to be in his next program with after SummerSlam, I would think that would be who would come down to be the special guest commentator for that match.
Okay.
Maybe D'Lo Brown after what's going on in the locker room.
Not just D'Lo Brown, but a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
a lot
other
of
people.
guys.
What he's talking about is that Taz has kind of been, we won't say the brunt of, but the focus of a lot of joking in the locker room.
Well, the problem is Taz is a very serious individual, and the guys like him, but they want him to kind of, loosen his collar a little bit and have some fun. So back at Madison Square Garden, D'Lo Brown was walking around with an orange tights and a towel over his head, putting people on a Taz mission. I'm trying to think who else.
I just read it. There was a lot of people.
Bradshaw walked around with a Band-Aid on his shin and said he tried to leapfrog Taz. I mean, it was some good stuff. And Taz is a good guy, and he will eventually be giving some ribs as well as taking them too.
They say he's been taking it all right so far, but it remains to be seen.
Okay. Do you know if the ratings dropped last Monday when Stephanie McMahon left the building? Because I know when she left in a limo, I turned it.
Yeah, well, when she left, the headlights went off. I know that, but anyway, I don't know. I'd have to check. I haven't seen the actual quarter-hour breakdowns.
Okay.
All right?
Bye.
Take care.
It's true.
It's true. Speaking of Stephanie McMahon, she's in Entertainment Weekly this week. Nice little feature on her and talking about her behind-the-scenes roles in the World Wrestling Federation.
Everybody mainstream. Look at how many shows they're on. I mean, both federations, just a lot going on, so you have to enjoy it right now. And Joe is doing the amazing Cheeto trick again tonight.
Is he?
Yes. Takes the bag. He holds them about 4 foot from his mouth. An entire bag floats from the bag to his mouth, and then they're gone. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
It's amazing.
It's magical.
Absolutely amazing, the power Joe has with Cheetos.
Oh, it is. I knew he wanted those.
Cheetorific.
Cheetorific. Well, let's go to line 2. I guess this is line 2. Is that a line 2? Joe Wright's finally 2.
It's Mike. That's all we
Is
know.
it Mike from Greenville? Mike, you there?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Not bad. A couple of quick things here. When are DDP and Sid coming back?
Sid?
I might have missed the boat on that or something.
No, not at all. Sid is helping out with the Australian tour, doing some promoting for it. I don't know if he's actually going to be wrestling anytime soon. DDP wants to come back to work.
He's just really, at this point, waiting to see what happens. He's been sitting on the sidelines recuperating. He's well recuperated. I don't know what's going on with myself other than the storyline.
The thing I've heard is that he would like to come back, but his name has been thrown in there with Lex Luger's and Buff Bagwell's as guys that are making very, very. Are you okay over there? You're doing some hand signals. I don't know what that is.
Well, that's the vacuum cleaner outside and the Cheeto bag being crumbled up.
But DDP is making a lot of money, and those are the guys that WCW is reevaluating to decide if they are worth the change they're getting. I think DDP is. He does a lot outside of the ring as far as helping in publicity to do that.
Then my other thing is about Sting's been taken off every now and then, and isn't it getting old that he has to keep fighting Vampiro? Isn't Sting a headliner? I mean, if you're at a WCW event, Sting usually gets the biggest reaction outside of Big Sexy, so why are they still making Sting wrestle these idiots?
I guess that maybe the idea originally was to try and elevate Vampiro or maybe even the Demon to try and get them a little more rub. Problem is, then you go into the pay-per-view this past Sunday, and Sting absolutely squashes the guys he faces. And even at the house shows, Sting Vampiro was like a 2-3 minute match. That's not going to get Vampiro over anymore. Okay, anything else?
No, that's all right. Thanks.
Hey, appreciate
Okay,
the
buddy,
phone call,
thanks for
Mike.
calling in, Mike.
I'm getting a little feedback in my headphones. I don't know if this is going out over the air now. But,
Okay, if it is, let us know. But let's go back to the phone lines again. Line 8, Undertaker guy. You've got the wrestling
Hey, how
guys.
you guys doing tonight?
Good, Taker.
Yeah, my question is about Kane. When is they going to take his mask off? Because he's becoming human-like now anyways.
Well, there's a lot of talk about what's going on with Kane. Obviously, the heel turns went into place. But sounds like is that your phone or ours, Taker?
It ain't mine. I'm in the coffin, so.
Okay, it couldn't be you then. But I don't think you're going to see it right away, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I got a couple more things. Another thing is about Vampiro. Do you think he would be better off going to WWF? Because I think they ruined that guy's talent.
Vampiro Ian is a very talented wrestler. There's no doubt about it. He just signed a new contract, though. I don't think you're going to see him go right away to WWF or anywhere else. But I think they need to build a storyline around him. And that's been the problem with a lot of the talent there. We just haven't done anything with them. And there's no way for them to move up. And as Shawn stated a few minutes ago, a 3-minute squash match with Sting is not going to do anything to build his reputation.
Well, I think what they did with Chris Benoit with The Undertaker helped Benoit out a lot.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Yeah, and another thing, Joe there?
Joe is here. Yes, he is.
Joe, did you get the great picture of the living legend Kurt Angle on TV Guide?
You know it's true.
It's true. The man is God.
It's true.
It's true. Everybody's jealous of the great one. Brother Joe, praise Kurt Angle.
Can I have a hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
Preach on, brother man.
Praise the Lord, Kurt Angle.
All that out of the coffin.
Yes, absolutely.
I can't believe it.
See, Lord, it's true.
Well, thanks for calling in, buddy. We appreciate it. Out of the coffin, the Undertaker guy. And he's finally found somebody to bond with, and Joe.
He's pretty lively for a dead guy.
Hey, you guys could share Cheeto bags and do a lot of other special things together.
Out of the coffin into something else. It's Mrs. Greenbucks. How you doing?
Hi, how y'all doing?
Doing fine. Joe's chuckling. I think he likes having you on.
Oh, he does.
He's still chuckling.
He's blushing.
We're having a rough show here today, but how you been doing? Haven't talked to you in a while?
Well, I've been on vacation in Hawaii.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah.
Could have taken us long.
I missed your voice, Marty.
You could have sent like a postcard or something.
I was busy. So...
I'm trying to hear you, but they're voting. So you went to Hawaii, you were on vacation.
Uh-huh.
And how long have you been back now?
I've been back for probably 3-4 days.
Well, that's great. Well, we're glad you're back, too, because that was the first thing. I wasn't on last week. First thing I did when I came in today was asked if you had called.
Marty wanted to know if you're going to bring him a lei.
Now, that was not nice.
You go to Hawaii, you get off the plane, like on the Brady Bunch episode, they have the little leis, they give you. So I just didn't know if she was going to bring you one.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah, we're not telling.
No, fine. Keep it between yourselves. Jeez.
Yes, it's between myself, Mrs. Greenbucks, and Mr. Greenbucks.
Okay.
Mr. Greenbucks doesn't have to know.
Yeah, it's right. It's between us and everybody else listening on the radio. So anything else going on then?
Are you guys going to come to the OCW show?
Well, once again, and we talked to everybody about it, I have a special event planned that day that really it's a once-a-year event, so I'm not going to be able to make it. And Shawn, I don't know what your schedule.
I'm coming to your
special event.
The Adams party.
But it's we really would like to. We told Dave and them right away when they scheduled the 19th. It was probably the worst day for us. But we definitely plan on making some of the shows as soon as our schedules don't coincide with OCW's.
Yeah, because you have to come and see me.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Because I'll tell you what, I'm spending a lot of money on that 900 number.
Hey, Mrs. Greenbucks, we got to wrap it up. Thanks a lot for the call.
Hey, thanks for calling in. You guys have a great time. We're going to talk a lot more about the OCW show before the end of the evening.
Actually, let's talk about that when we come back. And also, the World Wrestling Federation.
Coming back to the Miami Valley in force. 2 shows, 2 days, and we're going to talk about it when the wrestling guys
come back to Buckeye Country 106.5.
Monkey Boy. What's up? This is DDP.
This is Billy Kidman from WCW's New Blood.
This is Eddie Guerrero. That's right, man. Latino Heat, baby.
Hey, this is the franchise, Shane Douglas, and you're listening to the tag team champions of talk radio, the Wrestling Guys, Marty Adams and Shawn Stidham on Buckeye Country 106.5.
Welcome back. You've been listening to the Tag Team Champions of Talk Radio, and we are brought to you by Dyer, Garofalo, Mann & Schultz, the accident attorneys. You can put a tiger on your team 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All you have to do is call 1-800-INJURED, and they will be there for you.
And they've got locations also all over the Miami Valley, downtown Dayton, Middletown, Piqua, Heber Heights, Springfield, Lima. Anywhere you need them, they're going to be there for you.
You got it. Let's talk about it because a lot happening here coming soon in Miami Valley.
You okay, Joe?
Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
We've had enough sound effects for the next 3 weeks.
Anyway, the World Wrestling Federation is coming back to the Miami Valley. One of the most requested, most popular questions we get on the hotline and when we're out and about is, hey, when's the WWF coming back? And actually, you're going to be able to see them 2 days in a row if you don't mind taking a little drive, even 3 possibly.
Absolutely. Coming in on, is it the 21st?
No, November 11th.
November 11th.
On a Saturday. They're going to be down in Cincinnati, back at Cincinnati Gardens. Then the next night, Sunday, November 12th, they're going to be at the Nutter Center.
You got it.
And then the next night, they're going to be back up in Cleveland for Monday Night Raw.
So it's going to be 3 days. You can travel 4 hours and have 3 days and get your fix of WWF wrestling in the Miami Valley.
Now, you know what the next question is.
What is it?
Who's coming in for a signing?
Well, you know what? You mentioned it, and I can guarantee this. The Dudley Boys will definitely be doing a signing in the Miami Valley. Mm-hmm. That's the first one. Second one, we are going to work on Kurt Angle. Yeah! So that would be the second one. And there will potentially be a third signing. Where we are looking at doing signings are at Tri-County Mall, at Classic Cards, and at Piqua at the Miami Valley Center Mall.
So with those guys in for 3 days, and yes, we will be doing another mall walk with the Dudleys as well. So
you got it. It should be a great weekend. A lot going on. Let's go over what's going on right here in the Miami Valley, though. WWF coming in November. OCW this weekend in Fairborn, and first time running there.
Fairborn, Dayton Yellow Springs Road, and they're at the Old Timers Banquet Hall. And they're going to have a battle royal to determine a new national heavyweight champion, plus your typical OCW stars on hand. Fabulous Frederick from Hollywood, Man Mountain, Wild Man Dave Diamond. All those guys will be there in attendance.
Mike West.
And his dad,
hopefully
Chuck.
Dr. Creep will be there if he's feeling better.
Absolutely. Again, if you want information about the show this Saturday, OCW in Fairborn, 229-8189 is the phone number.
You got it. And September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, WCW and HWA take over the Miami Valley. The first night, Grand Victoria Casino and coming in. Palumbo, Stasiak, O'Hare, Jiznik. I mean, it's going to be a great night of professional wrestling. And then for you classic rock fans, right here in Fort Laramie, about 45 minutes outside of Dayton, Molly Hatchet, Joan Jett, Rick Derringer, Starship with Mickey Thomas, Loverboy, Eddie Money, Steppenwolf, and the one everybody's talking about, Weird Al Yankovic.
I don't see how he fits in the classic rock, but I like Weird Al.
That's all
okay.
I hear. All the guys, all the wrestlers want to see Weird Al. But their HWA, we're going to have midgets there. Kevin Nash will be there Saturday. DDP Sunday. It's going to be a great record time to be there and meet these guys. And the wrestling guys are going to be there with a VIP tent.
We've got the VIP pass. Basically, we have a special area of the concert. We have our own private tent. We're going to have food inside. You're going to be able to meet Kevin Nash. And again, you get preferred seating, preferred parking as well. Tickets are still available. Classic Cars and Collect.